When did the earrings come into play?
Oh, earrings. Okay, let me put it to you like this. Navy men, they had a thing. If they crossed the international date line, they pierced their ear. If they came back across the international date line, they would pierce the other ear, or they might pierce the ear again. They have two earrings. Okay, now see, now you done started something. Because now this is going to start something. Okay, my ear got pierced in the old county jail. There was no what they call men's central. We call it New County. My ear was pierced by Buford Beard from Watt, from the farmers. Okay, in the penitentiary, he's known as Motor because he's mouth, and he's very famous. Okay, because one, he altogether he done 29 years straight. Okay, and we're in the county jail. Okay, and the first time I saw him, this is 1962. He pierced my ear in the county jail in 62. But I had saw him in 57 at the Fox Florence Theater when the farmers came up there and got in the house with some of the homeboys, and I seen this dude running down the alleyway on the side of the theater, and dark dude. Anybody was running when I met him, and I told him that I had seen him before. He had just stabbed one of my homeboys from Little Slauson named Pat, and the way he was running, man, it was like a cartoon. He had a conch, a conch hair to a gash. When you process, the process is a higher level fixing of the hair. Okay, but he had a conch. Okay, but it was flying in the wind. I was wondering what he was running for, and then he told me in the county jail, he said, "Man, I was running from Chinaman and Zay." And everything, and he was fleeing. Okay, this dude here now, you used to see his name everywhere, Buford Watts. When we did Crips and Bloods Made in America, we're critiquing it. We're over there in Culver City, in one of them theaters over there by the Kirk Douglas Theater. And Tony Muhammad was there, Baron Davis was there, and all the white people and stuff that had something to do with the film, the Silicon Valley people and all that old kind of stuff. And so everybody's making a comment. And so I'm sitting back there, and Kamasi's sitting over from me and this white dude named Dan. And I said, yeah, there's one thing wrong with it. And he heard me when I said it. I was mumbling. I said, ain't no Chicanos in it. Okay. He said, well, speak up, Bert. Speak up. And so I told Stacy Peralta, I said, you know what's wrong with this, man? I said, everything else is all right. The stories are good. There's but one thing wrong with it. And he said, what? I said, it's no Chicanos in the movie. And T. Rogers said, well, this is a black thing. And I looked at him and I said, no, it's not. It's a gang thing. And Bo Taylor, he's passed on. Bo Taylor co-signed T. Rogers. I said, no. I said, let me tell y'all something. So one, T. Rogers is not from L.A. I'm from L.A. Right. I'm born in Texas, but I'm L.A. Yeah, and I'm South Central L.A. I said, you guys are not from L.A., so you don't know. See, there is no neighborhood in L.A., especially South Central LA. I'm talking about from all the way from the 20s to Compton, that there ain't no Mexican gang. And I'll bet money on that. Bring your money, and here's mine. Mm-hmm. It's never been. And see, anybody got something to say about it, they're wrong. See, what happened is the Mexican gangs kind of diminished a bit, but they ain't never left. Mm-hmm. See, like the Hardines, Martin Luther King Hospital, that right there is Palm Lane. Okay, and Palm Lane, that was those old projects. Okay, and that's where all them farmers come from. See, okay, ND, Carl Darris, Willie Waco, Bumper Jack, Sitting Bull, and I know Freddie George is in Chosen Few. He was a farmer. He was one of the younger ones. You know who else was from Watts?
Oh.
Okay. The names, the one I mentioned, John Hall, that nobody didn't mention. Mm-hmm. Okay. I didn't mention, the Hicks brothers. Billy Hicks, Kerman Hicks. Now, they're old. See, ND is right in front of me. A few years in front of me. Okay, the Hicks brothers. Billy Hicks. Okay, and Kermit Hicks, I don't know how many of them was. I only knew it was two. Billy Hicks was from Colonia Watts. He's a black dude from Colonia Watts. Okay, then you had the what you call him? Okay, you know we know who Bobby Womack is.
Yeah.
Okay, Bobby Womack, Harry Womack, Cecil Womack. It's in his first cousin James Womack, right there what they call Bebops, right there on Bellhaven and Central. See, I was wearing James Womack out on that corner one night in 1961. See, head up, and said Bobby Womack is from Watts. See, and said, and him and his brother was bad. And since I'm saying that, okay, now let me tell you, okay, you had Cecil Kimball from Watts had a sister named Claire Kimball. She's my age, tough, little bad girl from Watts. Then you had what you call him, Mac Gamble from Watts. His sister's Maxine Gamble, and their daddy is Mac, who was a friend of my father's. Okay, and Maxine Gamble, another bad girl from Watts. Okay, then you had Eugene Gatlin and L.A. Gatlin. Okay, L.A. is the oldest. He's older than me, and Eugene the same age. But they got a sister named Gloria Gatlin. Whew, man, yeah, she's slanging with the guys, from Watts. Okay, then you got Big Emma from Watts. Okay, and I don't know why not. I mean, if people been in Watts since the mid '60s, they should have heard of them. And then one of the baddest chicks out of Watts was Daisy Naples. See, Daisy Naples. See, I heard people mention Carl Darris. They don't say when Carl Darris got his leg cut off. See, Carl Darris and ND threw him. Sometimes they was partners, but they get drunk and have a fight. ND, they don't even know what is ND's name.
I was going to ask you that.
Neil Davis. Neil Davis. ND used to come up on Manchester and San Pedro, right here on 83rd and Central. I'm about 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm riding down the street in my car going someplace, and ND was at the motel right there. And I just happened to be at the light, and I was pulling off, and he was upstairs. And he came out, and he had no shirt on. And he did like this, stretching his hands, and he was yawning. But I could read his lip. He said, "What?" I said, "Oh, man." I said, "Nigga's a fool," And said, that was a bad boy there. Him and Roach grew up together, but they used to stay into it. They had 3 fights, Indy and Roach.
Did you know the Newmans?
Yeah. John Kane Newman, Bobby Newman. Okay, John Newman and Bobby Newman in 1961 at Fremont. They came one night at a sports night, and they the ones that shot up, and Avance and Anthony Walker got shot. See, now since you mentioned Bobby Newman, okay, he's the younger one. John is the older one. John Kane Newman, that's his name. I got a clipping someplace here about it. Okay, one time, see, the people from Watts that you all talk to, they forgot to mention something. You asked them about recreation or what did they do? How come nobody ain't mentioned the Pyramid hamburger stand across the street on 103rd and Kalmire? Right across the street in front of Jordan, in front of the high school.
There was also a woman they didn't mention that worked at one of the recreation parks.
That's Charlotte Mama. See, Tyrone Pace, I don't know if he has 1 or 2 sons by Gail. Okay, Charlotte Mama is Gail's mother. See, and Charlotte Mama ran the rec center and such and so on. Okay, one time we came back, I had a girlfriend that went to Jordan. It was 4 girls went to Jordan. Jackie Barnett, Sandra Jackson, my girlfriend Janie, and Mary Peter. Mary Peter didn't go there. She came up there with us. It's me, Kumasi, Skidoo, and Baby Bird. Okay, and Kumasi, he was Little Bird. Then. Anyway, we come up there. Okay, they mentioned Bobby Newman, but what about J.W. from the projects? J.W. Robinson. Okay, and they mentioned, nobody ever really mentions the Haciendas that much. What about Jap Leonard Ray and his brother Joe Ray? See, they ran the Haciendas. And there's other dudes that I don't know all the other, but I'm talking about, see, let me explain it to you like this. I knew a lot of other guys, but see, most of the guys I knew were the prominent guys. I'll put it like that. Okay, we come up to the Hacienda, not the Hacienda, to the Pyramid. We're standing, they have a jukebox. It was outside of the thing, of the building itself, but the jukebox, it was encased in wood. So I'm up there now. It's about, they had the benches right over here, and it's about 25 dudes up there, and it's 4 of us, and with the 3 girls. I mean, 4 girls. Okay, so I wrote on the jukebox, Bird Slauson. Now they would see me when I wrote it. Okay, we split. Okay, I had a 1942 Hudson. Okay, the next day we come up there, and we standing around. This man, it's a gang of niggas up there from Watts. I mean, it's in Watts, you know. And so Kumasi says, "Man, go check out the jukebox." This is 1965. You know, I said, "Well, what?" He said, "Just go check it out." Okay, we go over there. Was it 65 or 64? Right at the end of 64, first of 65, come to think of it. I had that Hudson. I go over to the jukebox. Man, I wanted to bust up, I swear to God. You know what them fools did?
What?
I had wrote my name, Bird Slauson.
Crossed it out?
No. They didn't cross it out. Dude drew, somebody, whoever did it, they drew a little dude with a bald head and an earring, and they said Bird is a bald head sissy with an earring, and they called me a poot butt. But they didn't spell poot right. They spelled it P-U-T like put. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like a putt butt or whatever they was trying to say. And so I swear to God, I wanted to laugh, man. But I looked at it. I said, who did this? Everybody started turning their heads and stuff. I said, okay, this is cool. I know what happened. Y'all saw us up here yesterday. I said, I know what happened. I said, so you probably at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning crawled on your belly like a snake, shaking like a duck shitting persimmon seed, nervous as a dog, and you ran up there and you wrote it and you ran home, you know, just like that, you know, and everything. And I said, fuck Watts, just like that. And it's all these dudes, and they were 4 of us, okay, and the chicks stood back to back, you know, with their purses and had their hands in their purse. They probably had nothing more than the emery board. J.W. from Watts, you know, he's older than me. J.W. said, Bird, what they got, what them bras got in their purse? What they got in their purse? I said, you know, because they were afraid to move. So somebody had snuck to the parking. They never mentioned the parking lot where they hung out at the park. They don't mention Bob's liquor store. So they come back, and here comes Bobby Newman. Okay, he come up there, talking about Fort Watts. I said it. He said, you must don't know who I am. I said, I know who you are. You Bobby Newman. You John Newman's brother. So y'all the ones came up here in them panel trucks in 1961 and shot all up in Fremont and shot some people up there. I said, I know who you are. He said, who you supposed to be? I said, that ain't who I am. I said, let me ask you a question since you're asking questions. Because see, he's like, you know, Bobby Newman said, I'm 5'9". Bobby Newman might have been the same height as me, but he's older than me. But he was like, stacked, you know. Mm-hmm. I said, let me tell you this. I said, do you know Thad Smith? You look like a Mexican? I said, yeah. I said, I know you know the Shirleys, Bobby, Charlie, and Butch. Bobby, Charlie, and I think it's one name, and Grady, Shirley. Everybody in Watts ought to know Grady Shirley. From the hands, he was knocking chumps out on a daily basis for sport. He knocking out his homeboys, you know.
Was he about your age?
No, Grady is right behind me. Okay. But Bobby is my age. Bobby is older than me, and Charles Lewis is in between. Okay, and since Grady was a boxer, I think he's still alive. Barry from the Businessmen. I'm not talking about Barry White. I'm talking about Barry Waldrop, the real Barry from the Businessmen. Both of them are real. Yeah, no, both of them are real. Okay, but see, Barry White, he was a tough guy too, but he spent most of the time with his music and everything. But Barry Waldrop, when you mention Barry from the Businessman, people from LA, they know who you're talking about. The youngsters don't know that. But anyway, I said, the Shirley? Said, yeah. I said, Lloyd and Eugene McNeil? Now, Lloyd McNeil is the one Tootie Reese ran with. And they said, yeah, light-skinned curly hair? I said, yeah. I said, Wilbur Earl Johnson? And when I said Wilbur Earl Johnson, Bobby Newman looked like he wanted to swallow his Adam's apple. And I said, all of them is my cousins. I said, tell them y'all jumped on me. Because Wilbur Earl would be 84 years old. He had a cock eye. It was real. I had people laughing all the time. He wasn't even no muscles or nothing. He was about 6 feet, but he was lanky. And real frisky. Like, but see, he had a cock eye, and y'all be doing it, and that eye be moving, and you be watching the eye, and he be he be wearing you out.
Tell me about the time you guys invaded Jordan Downs.
Oh, on a Tuesday afternoon around 1:30, everybody's kicking it in the parking lot and in front of their apartments. Ain't nobody coming up in Jordan Downs with no mess, but we did. And we came, somebody busted a cap in the sky, and niggas started running. One dude had his keys, and he was trying to run in his apartment, and he was phoning again. He dropped his keys and split. See, because we caught him by surprise. See, that's the only catch to it. See, and the ones that we caught up with got whooped up. See, so you could do almost anything. And let me explain this to me since you mentioned that. See, Watts, I'm gonna give them their props. See, you had 5 projects in Watts. You had Palm Lane, Nickerson's, Hacienda, Imperial Courts, and Jordan Downs. But then it used to be some at the end of Will Rogers Park. See, Will Rogers Park only stretched from Success to right back where Marvin Maxim's house is, like about the length of 3 or 4 houses. The rest of it was probably, they tore them down a long time ago. Okay, and Palm Lane had so many people in it, man, and the reason why the farmers called themselves farmers is because when they first was living in Palm Lane was full of land and trees and niggas. In them days, people had chickens in their backyard. We had them, chickens, and you was raising your own food almost. That poultry market that's on Central right across the track, that been there since I came. I was a little boy. It ain't left yet. And many a chicken got his neck wrung down there. I ain't lying. Better ask somebody. It's right across the street from the Catholic school, the boys' Catholic school, the one that's the black one. But they got Latinos going there now. Anyway, see, man, like I said, everybody was coming from the South. Man, they had so many niggas and whites, man, like, golly. Nobody couldn't whoop them as a whole.
What was in the Nickerson Gardens before the Green Jackets and Bounty Hunters?
Most of the dudes from the Nickerson, the club they had was called Huns, which is arch enemies to warlords of Baby Slauson. But let me finish. Okay, see, if Watts had the most people, see, Watts was 60% black starting in the 40s. Okay, but the Mexicans was already there. Okay, and some white people. But see, I told you I came from Watts. Okay, and see, but okay, we haven't talked about my neighborhood yet, but I'll tell you later. And see, the dudes from Watts used to go all over town to parties and turn parties out, and they didn't go to turn a party out. They would go to a party and get in a fight. See, all them other neighborhoods, they might get in a hassle with dudes from Watts at a party, and you might whoop some dudes from Watts. But you did not go in Watts talking about whooping nobody. Now you could do it. You can win the battle, but you don't win the war. See, like when you go into the Pike in Long Beach, it'd be full of Watts. Now, at Reese, which is Bethune Junior High School right now, it was 450 boys at Reese. 250 of them was from Watts. Everybody else was from Vineyard, Gladiators, Ross Snyder's, businessmen, Pueblos. It wasn't but 17 of us. Okay, you had a white boy named Frank Curtis from Venice. You had a booty-head dude, Ronald Yoshioka, from the west side. Okay, and then you had Joe with the suspenders from Clanton Street, a Mexican dude. You had quarter watch. You had about 7 or 8 quarter watch if it was that many, and you had about 7 or 8 Florence if it was that many. See. And see, but Watts, everybody was from Watts, and that's including the D'Artagnans, and Watts had all them clubs. They had Majestic, Saracens, Turbans, Orientals, Roman 103s. That's Jordan Down, Roman 103s.